Well, my fellow and soon-to-be maniacs out there, this is your favorite webcomic creator and animator, the Chainsaw Maniac, here with another edition of Coffee and Chainsaws. Basically a segment where I talk about various different topics as well as rambling or whatever's happened over the past few weeks, as well as just to pop out some inspiration as well as motivation for all artists out there. So if you guys enjoy the content I do and you would like to see more, I suggest you run down to that like button as well as subscribe and ring that notification bell to be notified of anything else I do on this channel. So it's been a really eventful few, I think, couple of weeks. You know, there's a lot going on, but I've been hopping a lot into my short film now. I'm literally like 3 minutes through the planning of my short film, almost 4 minutes done, and I think I have about another 4.5 to go. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty cool. I'm getting it out there, getting things done. Kill Hero season 1 is completed, but there is still guides and stuff coming out based on the lore of the comic. So if you guys want to stay tuned on that, you can check the links down below. Working on the second season of Merchant of Ignatius as well, as I'm, chilling, but mostly I'm just grinding through the short film because the short film is due for I think June. Let's say the 1st of June. That is my deadline. Because the 15th of April, I think, is when the entry date starts. So which means between the 15th of April as well as the 15th of June, I think this is the period where you can actually enter your entry for this contest that I'm doing. That's why I'm doing the short film. The short film is for a specific contest that's coming up, and obviously it's an animation contest done by Howard Wimses. So yeah, I'm putting it out there. This is also based on Kill All Heroes, the short film. So like it's gonna take place between season 1 and 2. This event takes place. So yeah, it's kind of a continuation after season 1 as well. So it's still part of the story. I'm planning to do more animation stuff based on my comics as well. So there will be more short films coming up in the future. So basically, whenever I finish a season, I'll do a short film based on the previous season that I've completed. I'll also kind of do maybe movie intros, maybe not movie intros, but like anime intros for like series, those type of things. I might actually do that for my comics moving forward. I have plenty of other short comics that I'm working on as well. There are many other projects that I'm working on and that I have my fingers in. There's other studios that I'm kind of working with as well in terms of my actual animation work behind the scenes. So yeah, it's quite busy. There's a lot of moving cogs and wheels and shit turning, and yeah, I'm trying not to swear in this video because also YouTube hates swearing all of a sudden, and now they kind of clamping down of creators. So I'm trying to kind of get past that. But okay, if the shits and asses and the F word drops, it's just what it is. It's how I speak, and I don't really care if I get monetized or not. I just want to get this video out there. I want to get you guys motivated, keep you guys moving. I have plenty of other content coming out in terms of the power scaling content. If you guys have been following that, I recently did 2 videos on Unordinary, describing just exactly how strong the characters are using feats and calculations and stuff like that to see exactly how strong these characters are in comparison to our world or other types of ways of measuring their power. I think right now I'm kind of pausing on the Unordinary stuff. There isn't much to go on right now. I think I've covered 2 of the most powerful people, which I think at least are the 2 most powerful people in the series at the moment, who have been displayed to do certain types of feats, which is John and Seraphina. And recently I've picked up Tower of God, so I'll be looking at those characters, see exactly how strong they are. So the next video will be a Tower of God video, so I will be actually reading through that and seeing exactly how strong those characters are. And there are many other Webtoon original series that I will like to go through and see exactly how strong those characters are. I know people have actually been asking me, like, how come I don't do like Webtoon Canvas series? But that's just because Webtoon Canvas series, unfortunately, most of them aren't as popular as the original series. So basically my plan is to gain traction using the Webtoon original series, which are popular, to my channel, so they kind of get the idea of my channel and know that I do power scaling in terms of Webtoon content. And once I have a decent enough following or audience, that's when I will tackle the Canvas series as well. And actually in the future, I want to actually do like planned versus battles where basically you pick certain characters from like a webtoon canvas series, and then you put them up against like a webtoon original series, and we see actually how strong these characters are if they were to duke it out. Also, I'll be doing like cross-fiction battles, which means characters from different webtoon original series will be like, I'll put them against each other in terms of a versus battle once I actually go through all their skills and stuff, and then you can put them up in a versus battle. So I think that'll be really cool, and that's actually what I'm kind of building up for the future content of this channel. So that's just like the power scaling side. Obviously there's animation as well, because this channel is based on webcomics and animation. The animation stuff is obviously the short films and stuff like that. That's the animation side. I will be actually streaming a lot of animation stuff because I want to get the short film done. Right now, my comics, there's no comics to work on because, they kind of, technically they're on hiatus, but like I'm working on other comics while the other comic is on hiatus, basically. I'm jumping between comics is what's happening. But other than that, there's some weird stuff that's been happening in the world recently, MrBeast is all of a sudden the world's worst villain for curing blind people. The woke media, and I say quote unquote woke, because you know what I talk about when I mean quote unquote woke, right? These people, these crazies, these people are just out of their freaking mind and just want to be hateful, and they just want to point fingers at everyone and like dig up their past and all the stuff, right? So these people are now attacking MrBeast for curing blind people. Like literally they just hate him for curing blind people. I think the argument was, and I saw a few posts, the argument was basically he's taking advantage of blind people for views and stuff like that. But I don't think they know how he works. If you have actually seen, he has done multiple videos on how exactly he gets the funding to do these type of things. So basically, because he doesn't have one channel, he has multiple channels that gain like billions of views and then he invests that income that he gets into his videos and his content. So basically, if the video does very well, that's the payment used for these people in the video. So basically, by using, or let's say how they say it, taking advantage of blind people, he's paying for their surgery, he's paying to cure their blindness. And it's like, I don't know, I don't see what is the problem here. I don't really see what's the problem. Like, he's curing blind people. And I don't understand how you can be outraged about that. Like, he is curing blindness. And I can't even be mad. I can't be mad at it. Like, why would I be mad at it? And he's doing it not only in one part of the country, he's going all over the world, curing blind people, including Africans. Okay, and that's my people right there. Okay, and this is where I'm like, look guys, I don't think you understand. Look, Africa specifically is like very impoverished, and so people can't afford these type of surgeries, and he's doing them a massive favor by paying these surgeons to obviously fix their eyes. And in some countries they don't even have these type of, whether it's the medical equipment or the funding to fund these type of surgeries, they don't have these type of things. So he's bringing it over to these countries who can't afford these type of things, like honestly, there's no argument you can make to make him look bad by doing this. There's honestly nothing you can say unless he, like, in his spare time traffics kids or something, like he does some weird shit. This is the thing I've noticed now. They're running out of bad guys. No, they're really running out. There's no one else. After all the stuff that has happened with like Bill Cosby, the Harvey Weinstein, all these crazy events that's happened, the Me Too movement and all these type of things that has happened now, there's no more like real villains out there, so to say, right? So now at this point, I feel like they just like being outraged, and there's no one else. There's no one else to be mad at. And it's not only that. I feel like some of these people actually gain income, or they gain a certain type of notoriety by covering these topics, and now that they don't exist anymore, or that there isn't that kind of prevalent evil force for them to cover, right? It's not there anymore. So now they're just searching. Why is no one talking about Ezra Miller? Like, why is that guy still making movies? Like, why? Why are we attacking MrBeast for this type of stuff when that guy is free roaming like it's happy days over there? Like, why are we even, like, I don't understand. This is a weird world that we're living in, It's a very weird world we're living in right now, honestly. Like, I don't get it. My final verdict on MrBeast, like, leave the guy alone. Like, I know there was like one more argument in terms of MrBeast being a bad person. These these type of people do this. They kind of try to cover their tracks or kind of validate what they're trying to say. So what happened is MrBeast said this thing, and there's no, like, they can't like point this as a bad thing. So what they did was they go into his past. They brought up like one quote unquote homophobic joke that he said back in, like, I don't know. Okay, it was way back in the day, right? They brought it up and they were like, what is this? What is this, MrBeast? Like, look, I don't know. Like, I feel like even if it is like the worst joke, let's say it's very bad, what he said is extremely bad based on that community or whatever community it is, right? He said something really bad about a certain community and it was just outrageously bad, like crazy bad. At the end of the day, he's curing 1,000 blind people from every country around the world. Do you understand that it doesn't matter now? He could drop an N-bomb. No, I'm serious. Like, it could literally be that bad. He could literally just say, like, the N-word, just drop it out of nowhere. He's still curing 1,000 blind people around the world. Do you understand? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just like maybe it's just like something that's like beyond my comprehension. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm being very insensitive. I don't know. Like, there's nothing I can say, guys. There's nothing. If MrBeast is the worst person in the world, right now, then we're living in good times. That's all I can say. We're living in good times right now. And honestly, I don't give a shit because I live in South Africa and shit's wild over here. Still, like, our power outages, like, shit's going wild over here, right? So look, I don't have time to worry about MrBeast and him saving blind people, right? I don't have the time to worry about that because it's a non-issue right now. And right now, I would just like my lights to be on whenever I want, and I would like not certain areas in the country to be set on fire every now and then. Maybe a couple people not dying from getting shot, maybe a few other people not starving to death. Like, there's other problems and priorities that we need to prioritize. Like, this is a non-issue. Like, just get it out of my face. I don't really care. Unless he's like diddling kids, I don't care, okay? Unless it's that bad, I don't care. Oh shit. Probably someone in the comments like, how can you probably gonna be that one person. Look, I'm just saying. Meanwhile, the AI is trying to steal art from artists, who cares what MrBeast is doing with blind people in terms of saving them, like, who cares if he's taking advantage of them in terms of making income to save them? Basically what I'm saying is this is just not the thing to worry about right now. Is people, in other countries doing all types of crazy weird shit, and this is the thing we're focusing on. Like, maybe it's just because of the power outages that's just boiling my blood right now, but like, it's just not the issue right now. That's kind of what we do on the show. We just ramble, we talk a whole bunch of nonsense. But anyway, let's end on a wholesome note. Let's end on a good note. I mean, curing blindness is a good note. That's actually the best note that you can end on at the moment, but obviously they've painted it in such a bad light that I feel like it's in a negative light now. And there's another thing that I want to talk about now that I brought up or reminded myself of the AI situation that's going on. Recently, I watched a video with like Shadiversity. We actually advocated for AI, and basically, I don't know, he was just kind of wrong. So I don't think he understands because he's not an artist. So he doesn't really understand how it's going to affect the industry. And recently, I saw my homie Elias drop me this video where actually it's entering now, leaking slowly into the animation industry. So I recently saw this anime clip where they actually used AI to help generate the backgrounds. Now, if they are truthful, because they show the process at the end. So if they are truthful of that process, I don't see anything wrong with it. But Elias said he had his doubts, and I feel like I kind of do have my doubts in terms of the corporate, entities in the industry, because they just want money and they want basically complacency and no one to complain. So obviously if they don't have any workers and they have a machine to do the work for them, it would be much easier to kind of get it done because they don't have to deal with the human aspect of creation. So yeah, it is very interesting. So basically this was the process. They kind of drew the layout for the background, because they just use the AI to construct backgrounds for this short, like 3-minute animation. And basically what they did is they drew out the background, the layout and everything, you know, just like a rough layout. They use the AI to read the layout and kind of add the materials and textures into the layout. Then they cleaned it up and then kind of reconstructed it by hand to make it look really good. That process, I don't mind it as much as where you just type something into a prompt and it automatically pops up and you just stick that into an animation, you know. There's still a whole lot of working around all that stuff now. Honestly, that's the hard way to do it. Like, I don't know why you just didn't, you know, draw it, and then I don't know why you need that extra step of AI in there. Like, I don't understand why you needed that, because when I looked at the process, I'm like, if you took that away, you would have actually spent less time on this thing that you were trying to produce in terms of the background. Like, you could have spent less time. And this is the kind of the crux of what I've seen been happening, where people's just using AI, thinking they have this illusion that it's actually like helping them. Obviously, in the future, if AI continues, it will get better. But like at this point, it's not worth it. Like, just don't do it. Rather learn the skill needed instead of using AI because it's not working, or like it's not where it's supposed to be at right now. It's an extra step that you don't really need at the moment. Eventually, maybe, you know, in a few years time, once we figure it out, it's still kind of in the beta stages. We don't know what the fuck, you know, there's still laws around the stuff, and like how you're going to kind of build a law system and payroll based on like AI and all that type of stuff, and how you're going to account for everything and yada yada. We're still working on the model as well as, you know, lawsuit aspect of everything here with AI. I wouldn't take the risk. I would honestly use that time just to get good. You know, get better at art. Like, why are you wasting your time typing down prompts when you could be actually improving your skill? Maybe it's just because you're lazy. You're lazy ass. That's what you are. You're just lazy, okay? Get into it, okay? It's gonna take time. It's gonna take practice. But at the end of the day, you're gonna produce results, okay? You're gonna produce some really good stuff. And, you know, one day when AI gets good and it actually helps artists, you know, at the moment it's shitting on us, and the people creating it is shitting on artists instead of getting the input and working with them. You know, it's like a weird dynamic that they have. Like, I don't know why you just don't improve on that skill. Just improve on the skill, you know, figure it out. Even if you know, just drawing stick figures, okay? Work on it. Make them the best goddamn stick figures you ever made in your life, okay? Now, everybody works at their own pace, you know, so like, work at your pace. Or get where you think you can be in like a few months, a few weeks, you know, just work on that skill, you know. It's not, honestly, it's not rocket science, you know. It's just muscle memory and learning the skill. You're just basically learning. I think there is an aspect of talent there, but look at me. I have no artistic talent. I can honestly say that. I have no artistic talent at all. Not even a little bit. Not even a sprinkle here, a sprinkle there, okay? I do have a creative mind, you know, like I come up with weird shit all the time, but like, I don't have the talent. I've seen people with talent. I see what they can do. You know, I don't have talent, but what I do have is years worth of experience and skill, which I built up by myself by working as hard as I can. Because I don't have talent, because I'm not as good as other people, I have to work twice as hard to improve. And that's just what I have to do every day. I'm kind of like the Rock Lee of art, okay? I kind of do my reps every day. I go nuts. That's why people's like, damn, your work ethic and your whatever, you know, is just insane. That's because I have to do that. I can't sit on my ass because I won't get good, okay? I gotta work twice, maybe 3 times, 4 times as hard as any normal person, or let's say any talented, or even someone who has a smidge of talent. I have to work much more harder than them because I don't have any talent. So I have to work much harder and figure things out, you know. I'm actually pretty good at the technical stuff, and I love making things move and shit. That's kind of what I enjoy. And I also like the choreography of the movements and stuff like that. And I feel like that's more of a technical aspect, right, of the art stuff. So yeah, I just worked at it, I'm like almost 7 years in the animation industry. I have no talent. Do you understand how crazy that is? And it's just because I went for it. I went for what I wanted to do. You know, I didn't say, oh, I don't have talent. You know, let's just give up on my dreams. No, fuck that. You know, I was like, I am going to work as hard as I can every day until I get where I need to be. Okay, that's what I was like every single day. And every single day, I mean, you guys have seen how I've worked. You guys have seen the amount of output I can put out if I really put my mind to it. I've finished 40 panels in one day at a time, you know, because, you know, I just have that motivation, I have that work ethic, and it's because I know I have to work that hard. I can't keep up with the other artists. They're too good. They're too good, yet they don't have jobs, you know, and that's also one of the problems that I've noticed, that most talented artists, you know, they're too up their own ass to actually, you know, get on a specific level to where they can humble themselves to actually get the jobs that they need, you know, because some of them are quite arrogant. Not all of them, at least in the animation industry. A lot of animators are very nice people, at least in the South African animation industry. Mostly the nicest community you'll ever meet, right? But there's some people, they have talent, and they're so fixated on a certain type of job that they think they're gonna get. They're like, oh, this is the job I want, this is what I'm aiming for, and I don't want any other job until I get this job. In terms of like getting a job, that's not how I got my job. I'm a senior animator now. You know what I did? I spammed my CV everywhere. I got an internship. Before that, I spam my CV everywhere for multiple things because I specialize in multimedia entertainment, which means I can do graphic design, I can do video editing, I can do, you name it. Like in terms of, I mean, it's a very broad field. Like you can go into multiple things. It has to do with entertainment. You know, you can kind of go anywhere there. And I learned multiple skills. I picked up like the basics of every kind of skill that need to be known. I even picked up like sound engineering and stuff like that. I know the basics, but like, you know, I obviously specialize in animation because that's the thing that kind of attracted me the most. Where was I going with this? I forgot my train of, getting a job in the industry. That's what I was talking about. So basically, how I got the job in the industry was I kind of picked any job in the industry. Doesn't matter what it was, I was gonna pick that job because I knew if I do a few months there or a year, I would look good on a resume. I tried a number of times. I did interviews, and you know, obviously there were like trials where they put me to a test to see exactly what I could do. I failed all those trials. They're like, this guy knows basic concepts, but he sucks. That was kind of the gist of it. And then I kept moving, and then for 7 months, I know at that time I was the part-time, I was a waiter and stuff like that. In those, it took me like 6 months before I actually landed a job or internship, so to say. Because the current company that I'm working on, I landed an internship first, and I interned here for I think a year or so. Yeah, I interned for like a year. The pay wasn't bad. I was better than like being a waiter. Honestly, the pay was much better. I worked my way up. Like after that year of interning, I didn't even get an animation position, so to say. But after that year, they wanted me to be head of the animation department. So you can imagine the amount of output and work I put out in that beginning of the year because I really wanted the job. Damn, I worked so hard. I worked overtime, double overtime. Like I worked my ass off in that year. And they were like, you want to be head of the animation department? I looked at the other guys like, these guys are much more experienced than me. Why come they're not getting the damn job? Like what did I do? Right? But it's just because they didn't want the job, because it's a lot of responsibility, you know. It's not, and most of the time you don't get to work on the projects because you're kind of managing the animators and stuff like that. You kind of telling them like, oh, this is what we have to do here, and you're kind of like organizing the stuff. You don't really get to work on the stuff as much, so it's kind of like a crappy deal in the sense that you don't get to be creative, even though you're surrounded by creative people doing creative things, and you're looking at them and you're like, damn, that's so awesome what they're doing. Why can't I do that? So I was like, nah, I'm not going to be head of the department. And I kind of figured it out. Eventually, they hired a head of the department because we need one, obviously. And yeah, I started as a junior animator, worked my way up to senior now. What I'm trying to say is you don't need talent to get the job you want, right? You just have to work hard at it. And some people just don't have that work ethic in them. I mean, I understand, like, I'm insane, like the work ethic and like the way I work. It's like I'm on coke, you know, every day. I get it. It's insane. I know. I just have a very obsessive personality, and when I really like something and I really enjoy working on it, I'll get really into it, you know. Yeah, but that's just basically something to motivate you guys, keep you guys going. I don't know how long I was talking. We jump from MrBeast to AI to getting a job in the industry and motivating you to do basically get off your lazy ass is what it is. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. And if you enjoy the content I do, you know, this is your second reminder to like, subscribe, as well as ring that notification bell. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye, bro.